Yo, what's up, guys? It's Talon. Today, I've got a coaching with a Master Peak jungler. They're playing as Xin Zhao. I hope in general that this coaching can be useful for you guys. This time, I'm only uploading one of the games because I've noticed that you guys don't really seem that interested in having like the longer videos. Usually, they just don't seem to do as well, and not as many people seem to watch them. So I decided to try out with a shorter one. Let me know if you guys want me to upload the other game of coaching and what you think about this format in general. And if you're interested in coaching, just DM me on Discord through the link in the description or DM me on Twitter. $15 an hour for coaching for an hour. And yep, I'll see you guys later. I hope you enjoy the video.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is really with the jungle is I feel like one thing I struggle with is macro. I tend to play very safe. Like in the past, my problem was I didn't farm enough, and I had a coach that told me that. He was because I was playing Wukong and stuff, and I was like ganking level 2 because my Baron lane was fighting right next to my red buff. So I would do red buff Krugs and then gank. So he was like, you want to at least do your red side. And then another person said you want a full clear. So there are so many varying opinions. So lately what I do, I just full clear. No matter what my lanes are, no matter what my teammates are playing, I just full clear. And then I look for something. And I don't...
That's not bad. Like, I understand wanting to just completely full clear. But what do you mean by full clear too? Like, what's your pathing?
I usually go Krugs to blue.
Like, you just do Krugs and then red and then Raptors and Oliver? Or you just do the entire side then?
Yeah.
But you never go Scuttle?
Full clear. I very rarely go Scuttle. Like, if the enemy jungler ganks level 3 topside, I might do my Scuttle after Raptors.
Yeah,
but
I
if
would
they
say,
don't
there's no reason not to go Scuttle, because a lot of times then they're just going to double Scuttle you. Scuttle is extremely important for your mid laners, because if you're a Katarina, for example, you want to roam. But if you go bot lane and the Scuttle is taken, you can't because they see you, or, you know, top or whatever. You can't roam if the Scuttle is taken. So basically, if you have an assassin mid, they can never roam. You can never get vision of enemy jungler, so your laners will get kind of screwed over by that. So it's very helpful to have Scuttle for your laners if you can. So if you, I start typically Krugs and then do my full red side, and then I look for a Scuttle, like whatever Scuttle is easier for me to take. And I ward my, I assume you ward your blue buff at the start of the game, or no?
Yeah.
So like,
I do.
because you ward your blue buff, you don't have to worry about it getting stolen, because you'll know if it's getting taken anyways. So you can get Scuttle, because if they get both Scuttles, they just get a free gold lead on you every single time. Yeah. And then for your pathing, you are going to want to try to like path towards a lane you think something might happen in. It doesn't mean you actually have to gank it, but you want to be in a position like towards your most volatile lane if you can. So typically I'll do Krugs and I'll do the full red side, but like if I see that my bot lane, like the people on the bot side of the map are like, just say hypothetically it's Draven Thresh against like Caitlyn Nami, just like those, that's a lane where Caitlyn Nami have range advantage, so they're going to poke a lot. And Draven Thresh obviously have a ton of kill potential. So I would expect very, very likely something to happen in that lane. So instead of starting Krugs, I would start Raptors, and then I can do Raptors, red buff, Krugs, and then I'm just there at level 3. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not forcing the gank, but it's possible I can be there if I need to be. So you don't need to adjust your pathing super heavily. Your general thing is you're going to want to clear your full red side. Then you want to look for either Scuttle, whichever one you have better prio for. So if you want to force a fight, then you'll try to go, you know, just generally you go where you have prio. So if your top lane is going to probably have prio, you go there. Another nice thing about going top lane after clearing your full blue side or red side is you can go straight to blue side after. So ideally you're going top side Scuttle, but say you want to force a fight or you want to look for a possible gank, like say again you do the Raptors one and you end up at level 3, but there's no possible fight in bot lane, but it looks like one might break out, you just go kill Scuttle and you sweep around Scuttle before you do that. Before you do the Scuttle, then you know if there's vision there, you know if you can possibly gank anyone, and it's just going to allow you the possibility to gank. Like, you don't ever need to force a gank, you want to be there in case it might work out. That's all.
I think that's what happens. I end up forcing it, and then I use my sweeper. I don't get anything out of it, and because I showed bot side, they invade my blue, and I don't see them because I use sweeper to gank. I think I end up switching the camera in a second here. Yeah.
So yeah, the biggest thing for ganks is just don't force them. Like, it's almost never, especially in these elos, like the amount of times I gank laners and they'll mess it up for you more often than not. So it's really pointless. Like, you don't need to force. You just, if you see a kill there, you do it, but you should be selfish on Xin Zhao. in this elo, like you should just be playing really for yourself when you can. If you notice that someone's
Yeah.
really good, then you can play towards them, but usually that's not going to happen. Small thing already, I'm going to go a little, like you're pretty high for jungle, so when you clear this, like after hitting this small one the one time, you should be backing up and you should be autoing the big ones so that you clear it quicker, because if you auto the small one, it's already going to die. But like if you clear, if you're hitting the big one, then you cleave it and then you don't actually need to wait. So you're like wasting an auto or two, so it's going to be slower. So now your clear here is going to be slower than it needs to be. And then you should be switching your autos again. Same thing here. When this one was lower, you switch to the higher health one. And you keep switching back and forth so that you can just kill them at the same time. Like you probably waste like 5-ish seconds here that you could have, you know.
I got you. But yeah. Yeah, I could optimize that for sure.
And now that your teammate gets first blood here, you're pretty much like not gonna go there. There's no point, especially because it's a Shen. Like Shen's not super easy to gank. He has the auto attack blocking. Ganking that lane won't do a ton for you. So at this point, your goal should probably be going topside. So I would be looking for topside gank at this point. I don't know why you didn't smite your red buff, but I'm pretty sure smiting red buff is just better. Not 100% sure, but I mean it doesn't really matter. Like it's not a big deal.
That's another thing I never like. Most jungle guys, they don't really say which camps to smite.
I mean the simple thing is you just smite it. If you're clearing camps, the way jungle clears work is just sometimes you're gonna get it at like a good amount of health, and when you're clearing on Xin Zhao, you get it very close to 600. Like it goes like very slightly below 600. So it's a good time to smite because it's so close to 600. You just want to be smiting as close to 600 as possible. There's some like weird ones, like with Vi. I don't know why, but it's faster to smite certain camps, even though like other ones get to 600. It's just like weird. But for me, I mean, my clear is pretty fast when I do the red second, so or like when I also smite red. But and then this is the perfect time to be looking for a gank. Like you didn't really need to flash, but I mean, like you get the kill. So
yeah, I was probably a little.
But this is exactly what I would do in most games. You're usually gonna be doing exactly what you did. You should be pinging. What you do is good, and then yeah, you end up just gonna come down to a 50-50, and you get it. So that's good. I mean, so yeah, so far this pathing is, I would play this game exactly how you played it so far, basically, apart from I'd probably have cleared like 5 or 10 seconds faster, but like overall, you played this correctly. So, and then yeah, now you just go blue side. I like how you didn't like overforce this. Now that he flashed in, I'd go back, yeah, and then now you just give up, like just give up a little earlier. Like I don't think, can you kill him? Maybe you can kill him. Okay.
I get one.
So that's good. Yeah, that was good then. In general, I like you were thinking about going blue side, you saw a possible kill opportunity, you go back. So again, like the early game so far has been correct the way you played it, so that's good. And then yeah, you'll get level 5, so I would just clear the whole blue side to get level 5. And then I would probably, since they just flashed in bot lane, I might just go top side and look for a quick gank. Like I'd try to go top side, but at the same time then you're missing out on camps. So it's kind of like 50-50 here.
The decision I usually kind of get stuck on, because it's like, all right, they don't have flash, but if I go top side and I don't get anything, then I'm pretty much giving Lily a free in, because I know she started red most likely because she was there so quick.
So here also you should look at her, like I don't know if you're scrolling map, but you should scroll her map to see what buff she has, because then you know it's like what she takes, what she took and everything. Like if she didn't have blue buff or something, you'd know like you could invade it, or like you'd know she might not have already been on her blue side to know you could invade, because she just wasted time there. But now that she was just top side, she just ganks, she's going mid, you can expect her to be on bot side. So going here and clearing is good because your camps are up. So I would say this is probably better. It's more guaranteed than ganking top side. So I think this is the correct call. But since you know Lily is here, you kind of just clear around here, and then you can be in a position to possibly counter gank, but otherwise you just keep farming, because that's really what's going to be most valuable. Like you're already pretty strong in this game, your team's doing pretty well, so like I would go for Raptors.
Should I have started Raptors and then pathed down to Krugs, so I would be there by the time I was
It depends on what you think would be more likely for a fight. Like, so what you do is you look at the wave. So I can't, let's try to see if we can, I'm going to go back. And
I don't know
why
I was so desperate for Shen there.
So what you should look at in this situation, you're correct in that you want to go to whichever camp you don't want to path towards. So if you want to go towards bot lane, you start the Raptors, and then you go to here. So you'd be there for a gank, and vice versa. If you want to gank Yasuo, you go bot, or you go Krugs, and then you go Raptors. So what you look at is the waves and like which looks like it's more likely to be contested. So because the Yasuo is so pushed up, and I'm assuming he's going to stay pushed up or back off, this means we're not really going to expect a fight, because there's no wave. Like the wave's not there yet. There's no one contesting the wave. He's leaving. You wouldn't expect a likely fight here, so you would want to go to Raptors here because of that. Whereas the Shen, I can't see the actual wave, but it looks like he's on it. He's probably pushing it, so you could expect it to likely be a potential fight. So you would look at the wave. If they have more minions, like the enemy has more minions, it means they're probably going to start pushing in. So then they might be pushed up to gank. So.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because yeah, now you're like you probably could have cleared both and then been there for a gank and you would kill, or you wouldn't kill, but you wouldn't be wasting, because now you're like missing out on your Raptors, and then your Raptors will respawn later and everything, but not the end of the world. Yeah, you go for this gank, it doesn't work out, and you should just leave right after.
Yeah,
like,
I kind of end up forcing
this is fine.
Really hard.
Okay, then this is yeah, obviously. I mean, I guess it works. But it is kind of over aggressive. Yeah, like I mean, I wouldn't have forced that. You get the kill in the trade, so it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
But it is pretty aggressive. You're using your ult and everything, which this is a good time to use your ult though, because it's going to be back for Dragon. So if you do want to force plays, this is the best time to force it. If you force this at like 4:30, it would be really bad. But here it's not as bad. But again, still, yeah, now you're wasting time. You're not clearing. You should be able to get Cleaver before Drag though, so that's good. I usually go Sunder on Xin Zhao first, but like Cleaver is more guaranteed. You always get Cleaver, like you don't always get Sunder because it's more expensive. So it's kind of like
that's what I heard once. I used to do the same, Sunder first.
I feel like it's a bigger power spike, so I just care about it more. And I mean, if I don't want to fight, I usually just like can just go opposite objective, and then I don't really have. There's no harm. Usually, I can get the first Herald. Like most people just don't go Herald. I don't know why, but every jungler just goes Drag for some reason. So usually I just get Herald for free.
What I tend to see happen in my games is my team doesn't really feel like Herald is worth it at all. So a lot of times I'll go Herald.
Okay, and my so let me tell you why this game Herald is the way better call. They have a Shen top lane. If you go fight the Dragon, they're going to 5v4 you because Shen's just going to ult them, and your teammate's nowhere. So, like, you're just going to get screwed here. Like, most likely, if they play this fight properly, Lily is backing like an idiot, so because the Lily is bad, you might just get it anyways. But you're going to be in a 5v4 here because they have a global ultimate. So if you're going towards the global ultimate, where your laner is also doing pretty well, because, like, you just got the kill on the Shen, and I think he killed him earlier, or I don't know. Either way, the lane's going well. So, like, one, playing towards your strong lane is good, and both lanes are winning. Like, everyone's pretty much winning in this game, but because of the Shen ult, you would want to go Herald here. And then also just getting gold on yourself and snowballing is good because you have a Kai'Sa Lulu. So ideally, you get the Herald and then you go drop it in Kai'Sa Lulu lane, and then you get them really far ahead. If that's not possible, you can just get first tower anywhere, and that's still going to be fine. But yeah, so here Shen might ult you, and then...
I see. I always thought you put Rift mid, like, regardless. Like, just because I always thought, like, opening mid, they say, is the most important thing.
It's the most valuable, but it's a lot more valuable when people are good, and not a lot of these people are good. So it's like, for solo queue, what I value a lot more is my own gold, and then my carry's gold. So, like, your bot lane is doing fairly well. It's a Lulu Kai'Sa. Lulu's incredibly easy to play, and Kai'Sa's incredibly broken. Like, overall, that combo's insanely well. You already can see that they're okay players because they're really strong. And then you want to get golden yourself. So if you can break the turret, then you want to go for that. But what you should value the most is getting first turret gold. Because in solo queue, I would value gold over, like, the things like mid turret being broken. Ideally, you break mid turret. If you can break mid turret and get first turret, I would do that if I can. But, like, for this game, because your mid laner is... I don't know how well they're doing because I can't see the gold. It looks like they're doing fine too. So dropping it for Yasuo is fine. But, like, for me in solo queue, I feel like I can snowball way harder if I have the Lulu and Kai'Sa ahead. So
that makes sense. I actually just noticed Kai'Sa's username, which is a bit of a concern, but we'll disregard that for now.
I did not notice that either. Okay, but notice how Shen literally didn't ult here. Like, if he ults here, his fight's really hard. But he just hasn't ulted yet for some reason, so that's why this ends up being fine. I don't think, like, I think there's a lot of mistakes from the enemy. One, Lilia backed really late, and then two, Shen not ulting. So otherwise, this would probably be very difficult in, like, a little bit, you know, against better players. So
that's kind of the thing. I always feel like whenever I do well in a game, it's not because I did so well. It's kind of because my enemies made a lot of mistakes.
To an extent, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell. Yeah, you can't like, your level is like master, grandmaster level. So if you're playing against people who are lower than that, you're just going to beat them. And if you're playing against people higher than that, even if you do the same thing, it's probably not going to work out the same way.
So
here you drop it bot, but mid's low enough to break. I guess it's just you just want to get a kill. Okay, that's good then. Never mind. Dropping it here, you should be hitting it because so if you just walked up and hit it, it'd get the first turret. Because like.
And then I could put the Rift Herald somewhere else.
No. You could drop Herald here. I just mean when you drop, like it needs to be at Rift Herald damage is 2,000 plus 50 plus your level or times your level. So you do 450 plus 2,000. So you do 2450 with this. It's at 2,700. Okay. So if you go and auto it as the Herald tanks for you, then you could get it low enough with that, like, because the resistances are higher, you know, when it gets lower. So if you hit it when it was 2,600, you could like 3 autos and it'd be under 2,450, and then you'd get first turret. So.
Okay, that makes sense.
But instead, now you don't get first turret gold. And also, I would probably want to drop it mid since the mid's already chunked, so it would just insta kill it without you having to do anything.
Okay. Would this have been a good time to invade? Oh, I'm sorry. There's a little bit of a lag.
What were you saying? Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, would that have been a good time to invade?
Let's see. So you get a kill, use your ultimate, you're low health, you don't know where enemy is, you have prio in mid though. So if you go to Lilia, you probably die. You don't know where Lilia is. You don't have sweeper.
She's dead now.
She's dead? Okay, never mind then. If she's dead, then you have prio mid. Their top laner just died, so yeah, I would say you could probably invade here. I could say you probably check their blue, yeah. Especially if you have sweeper, because if you have sweeper, then you know if they see you or not. But yeah, I think you could have, yeah.
Yeah, because I play very safe. I don't really, like, unless it's super free, like it's late game, enemy jungler dies, we're already pushed up mid, then I'll go and check their camps and stuff, but I don't really take advantage of, like, invade windows, if that's the...
I'd say, like, the thing that differentiates, like, because your master again is pretty high, but it's not like grandmaster challenger level. It's like the thing that differentiates that is these smaller things, like just like understanding when you can and can't do those things. And I can teach you obviously some of these things, but you're gonna learn them from trying. So if you have that question in your mind while you're playing, then try it and see if it works or not. If it doesn't work, you can think about the situation again. Why didn't it work? Like in that situation, there should be no reason you ever die there because Lilia's dead. Shen just died. You have prio in mid. So yeah, again, like that should work. But if you'd done that and Lilia was alive and then killed you, then you could think back. You didn't know where Lilia is. You were half health. You didn't have ultimate. So like, yeah, you should be trying those things when you can. In general, especially on your champion, like it's not that bad to die for gold or like for a kill. Because even if you die for the blue buff, obviously it's bad, but it's not the end of the world because there's no objective up. You're not really going to lose a ton more off that. So you're not going to like throw the game just from dying that one time there. And then this turret dive was obviously like you don't with no minions or anything, but it's not much to say about that. It's kind of obvious. Also, you were forcing with both your buffs up, so like you had a lot to farm. I mean, this is a kill's worth of gold is your 2 buffs plus their buffs, so they're more valuable anyways. And instead you're going for kills, so probably should go for buffs first. It's also weird because your buffs are up, but none of your camps are up. So I don't know, like, if you weren't farming them, I don't know why. I think pretty weird.
Because the camp spawned before the buffs, I probably did my camps and I didn't wait around.
Yeah, they probably just weren't up. Yeah, that's true.
And then I just never came back.
Yeah, they're spawning now, so. And then after this, you should just clear the wave. Like, your goal shouldn't really be a kill, because Shen's pretty hard to kill. I would just go for the wave, and unless your teammate's coming. But yeah. I mean, if you can kill him, like, you kill him, but... Yeah, so since your teammate's coming here, it's fine.
Yep.
Then you get his flash. Oh, that's good. And now I just back and go for... Well, you could get your Raptors, so you back. Yeah, either way is fine. Again, I can't see like gold, so I don't know how close you are to item. But if say you needed 150 gold, then you should obviously go for your camp then back. But
yeah, I had Youmu's in base. So.
Okay, cool. So you're going Youmu's.
So here, game, should I go finish the Raptors before I go blue side, or should I kind of just be on this side of the map?
Fine. No, this is like dragon spawning. You can give up a camp, just like. It's pretty like you could, you couldn't, it doesn't really matter overall. You're not close to an item, so yeah, no, like this is fine, doesn't really matter too much.
Because sometimes I have like OCB a little bit. It's like, oh my god, I left one camp on the other side, I have to go.
I mean, the good thing here too is you're pathing up towards your teammates, like when you're going to the blue because your teammates are fighting. That was a funny auto aim on your E. But but yeah, like no, it's fine pathing that way. So. And you wasted ult again. I mean, I don't like. It's fine to waste spells like that.
Yeah,
but...
I usually just do it for the burst. Honestly, I forget how useful it is in team fights. Yeah.
Yeah, you're going Youmu's here. Your team's kind of they're mostly range. So I guess yeah, you probably the damage is fine because your ult can tank a lot for you. They're basically all range. So going this build's probably good. The damage is really high. And like here's a time where I'd even like. You were dead. Lilia's alive now. I would look for an invade, like that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, and you do. So that's good. I would go for his Krugs after this because there's no way like he's gonna. You see him there, so yeah, I would go for Krugs here, and then I would go catch the whole top wave as well. Like you get that huge. I can't. You could get that whole top wave, and you'd get probably 300 gold from that, and then you get the camp. So just an extra like 500 gold sitting there, and then you back, and you'd have all your red side camps. Like in general, just always value the gold over everything pretty much.
Yeah.
Unless objectives are up, obviously. And then here's Scuttle spawning, so I would go for Scuttle before, because Scuttle's actually like a neutral, so it's more valuable than my camps, because I can go get my camps at any time, but I can't get a neutral at any time. So like, yeah, again, like I would just be going Scuttle here. Now they're going to probably take Scuttle. This doesn't matter because you're up 10k, but in closer games, like this vision can be pretty valuable.
Definitely. I feel like I pay attention to the initial Scuttle timer, like 125, and then from there it's kind of like.
Well, I don't know when it's gonna spawn. I just saw the like the hourglass thingy being yellow, so like that's what I pay attention to. I don't like count it or anything.
They had vision though. I'll give them that.
Yeah, now you know like you've cleared a ton of their vision, so like that's another time to kind of be aware. You can look for invades if you need to, and then you can even see like his reds spawning. Like, this is not even a bad time. Like, taking Gromp's good, but, like, if you can ever ping your whole team to, like, go for it when you're this far ahead, it's not bad. I'm not saying you should do it in this situation. It's just something to look out for in, like, some games.
Mm-hmm.
We're forcing Baron with...
Well, I was trying to bait them in.
But I don't know. I guess it's fine. I just don't want to flip Baron when I'm so far ahead and their jungler's still alive. Like I know it's like you're just trying to force a fight, but for me, so many throws happen like this just at this point of the game when you're ahead so much. I'd rather, because you lose resistances when you start the Baron, so like you're like weaker too. I mean, it works out, so I guess it's a fine decision. It's just not something I would do. I wouldn't really want to force these things because sometimes your teammates stay on it and like they keep hitting it and then you get screwed over and you just have to 50-50. Because like you saw how low it was. Like if one person stays on it, just when I'm ahead so much, I feel like there's not really a reason unless I'm getting outscaled really hard to like do that type of stuff. But
okay, that makes sense. So I think here, if I remember, I probably check her. Yeah, go on her wolves. These are the types of invades I tend to do. Like when we're so far up.
I would go for her entire red side. I'm pretty sure her whole red side's up, and you didn't go for it. Yeah, no, you can see your Warwick's on the red. Like you could have taken all that. It would have been more valuable than just like backing here. I mean, I guess since Shen's hinting it works, but you could have gotten his entire red side, which would have been better. Because you knew, like we saw that his red side was just spawning from the hourglass thingy, and then you just saw Lilia on blue side after, and then you killed her. So like, there's almost no way she could have taken it. You could also tell by if you killed Lilia, which I think you did, if you don't have a red buff, you know she didn't take the red buff. So that's also like
right. I always forget to do that.
That's not something I've paid attention to in real recently, but it's been pretty helpful for me. Like it wasn't something I really thought about. Yeah, now farming all of your stuff's pretty fine. And your teammates are like, yeah, pushing this wave, and I would just go with my team. I wouldn't care about farming right now. I would just care about pushing. Your Baron ends in 10 seconds, so. And do you know like how to check when Baron's gonna end an Elder?
Yeah, there's like a little picture with a wind, like I don't know how to describe it perfectly, but at the bottom. I was just
gonna say you can look at the timers like on the map, like for when the next one's spawning, and you can look at it and then figure it out from there.
Oh, okay. There's like a little image at the bottom.
Is there?
That kind of starts to gray out when the Elder buff goes away and the Baron buff goes away.
I just look at the timers to know the exact, like when there's 1 minute and 50 seconds till the next Baron, that's when your Baron leaves you, and when there's 2 minutes 30 seconds for the next Elder, that's when Elder leaves. That's how I do it. I didn't even know there was that other way.